On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. A weekly recap of your Philadelphia Flyers from Blue Line to Blue Line. Broadcasting live from Chickies and Pete's, tonight's show is brought to you by Hand & Stone Spa, Pat Dion Beverages, The Capitol Grill, Chickies and Pete's, Payroll Service Solutions, and Independence Blue Cross. We now go live to Chickies and Pete's for On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Now, here are your hosts, former Flyers goaltending great Bernie Parent and Paul Jolovitz.
Yeah.
And welcome, everybody, to the beautiful Chickies and Pete's in Bordentown, New Jersey on this day after Christmas, December 26th. By the way, we'll also be on next Thursday from Malvern, January 2nd with Neil Little. But today it is Bordentown, festive lights, TVs, people. We have a guy who's drafted by the Rangers at the table next door just by chance. And we got a lot of great people here. This is On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. I want to wish everybody a happy holiday, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Happy New Year to everybody out there. Again, I'm Paul Jolovitz, along with Monsieur Bernard. Marcel Prawn, a little bit better goalie than this at the next table. How you doing?
You're talking to me?
Bernard Marcel Prawn.
Okay. I can't hear too good, but I feel good.
Good? You feel good?
Yep.
You feel great?
I feel great.
Ready to rock? You're going to Florida soon, huh?
Yes.
Flying south for the winter.
I'd love to wear shorts and short sleeves shirt.
You can do it inside here. It's hard to do it outside. A little chilly today.
It is cool.
We have a guy here with us tonight. We have a guest that we love to have. He's not going to Florida, although the Flyers will play in Florida at some point. Flyers going on a long West Coast trip, which means he has a little time off. The voice of the Flyers, PA, for over 50 years. Worked for the Flyers since year one. Mr. Lou Nolan, how are you, buddy?
Paul, I'm great, and thanks for having me on the show. Bernie, nice to see you.
Bravo, Lou. You look great, man.
I feel good. I feel good.
Feel good. Feel good is more than half the battle, right?
I think so, yeah.
All right, so first things first. We can go to hockey later. You have a good Christmas, guys?
Yeah, I had a great Christmas. I had my one-year-old grandson over.
What's his name?
TK, actually. His name's Tyler. Tyler Kenneth Nolan.
Not Travis Konechny, huh?
Well, you know, TK's.
One-year-old grandson. That is terrific. You spoiling him?
Yeah, of course.
Good.
You know, that's the way to do it, isn't it?
Bern, what'd you and Jeannie do on Christmas?
Well, we share some the beautiful day of Christmas with her family, beautiful family, and we had a wonderful time.
I learned from Jeannie and from another people at the Collegeville Bakery, Buon Natale is Merry Christmas in Italian, huh?
Yeah, well,
Learn something every day.
Ask Jeannie, don't ask me. I'm French.
There we are. And I'm English, and so's Lou Nolan, and Flyers going on this 12-day trip, starting in Anaheim against our old friend Cutter Gauthier on Saturday night. Flyers have kind of been last week, losing 3, winning 1. The goaltending situation, Mr. Prawn, has been a little bit iffy. Lou, what is the Flyers' goaltending situation? Obviously, the Flyers are not built. They're building. Problems come up here, there with scoring, goaltending, Tortorella with the lines. How do you see the goaltending right now?
I see it as 3 men to play one position. It makes it a challenge. And, you know, I don't know that Bernie has had situations where there have been 3 goalies. I don't think so back in those days.
He didn't need 2. Yeah. 70 games a year.
Yeah, I know. But it's a challenge. You know, you can't get the work for everybody. Practice is different. But you know, Erson comes back from injury, and he's been okay. Hasn't been great. You know, he misses making the big stop.
Yep.
And, you know, the other guys, Kolosov, you know, he's –
they're in and out, basically. Kolosov and Fedotov.
Yeah, there's no real way you can talk about those guys. They just haven't played enough. And they're learning North American games and North American rink. Got to be a big change between an Olympic-sized rink.
Of course.
And, you know, the angles and everything else.
The big change you're talking about is the position of the players in front of the net. When you have a wider rink, those things change. And the problem with the goalies today, if you have to move from left to right or right to left, the equipment is so stiff, especially the pads that they're wearing. They have a problem to go from left to right,
when you say the equipment is so
left.
stiff, especially the pads, what other equipment is there? The mask? That's all a goalie wears is pads, right?
Yeah, well,
but the lower pads are, they're this much taller than they used to be.
They're 35
probably.
pounds, aren't they, the lower pads?
Well, you know what? The problem is, guys, when you look at the goalies, the problems is the pads are so stiff.
Yep.
Okay, and it came from the league. No, it's not. It's not the choice.
The design of the pad itself. Yeah.
Yeah, and because they're so stiff that they can't move their feet. That's why they're on their knees all the time.
Good at splits.
Yeah, with the split in case the shot is taken on the ice.
Do you remember, Bernie, Flyers are carrying 3 goalies right now. A lot of people have a problem with that, although the player up instead, it's not like it's going to be Wayne Gretzky. It's a decision Tortorella and Danny and Keith have made. You and Wayne Stevenson and Bobby Taylor, were you ever on the same team at the same time? Did anybody ever carry 3, or was it just 2 at a time?
Carry 2. 2 games?
No, 3 goalies.
Oh, 3 goalies.
Was there a roster limit, 18 back when you played? I was...
Yeah. Well, with me, we had the chief, good friend, the chief Taylor.
Yep.
And I promised them that every 20 games you'll have
Get a game, right?
You'll have a game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lou Nolan is with us. Lou has an entree here at Chickies and Pete's, named after the first player he ever called a goal for at the Wells Fargo Center back at the Spectrum. It's called a Caesar salad. Julius Caesar lighting the lamp on 19 BC. Lou, you've been there forever. I mean, Dan Baker's been there forever with the Phillies. This city is so blessed to have great announcers. Tell us about your journey. You worked for the Flyers for a few years before the team, and you've still worked for 50 years. You're an institution. We'll get into it in depth, but tell us about how you got going and how you got the job.
Can I say one more,
Sure,
a couple of words before he does? When Lou got started, he had breakfast with Jesus.
Really?
So it's been around a long time. Yeah.
He's had a lot to do with it. He recommended me for the job. He and Connie Mack.
There we are.
So I needed the goals because we didn't have 20 TVs in the press box.
Do you have any?
None.
Wow.
And, I would be writing down names and so forth, and I'd hear a roar, and then I'd find out who scored, and then I would announce who scored after the PA guy, who was either Eddie Ferenz or maybe Gene Hart in the beginning, a few different guys. Finished with Kevin Johnson before me, but he left, and I said to Lou Scheinfeld, I want to do that. I figured I could watch the game.
Who started with the Flyers doing that?
Gene Hart did 2 periods of PA and went upstairs to do radio
Wow.
in the third.
Oh, my gosh.
And then he was followed in by, I think it was Eddie Ferenz. Eddie Ferenz, who worked for the Phillies later, had a hockey background. He was a GM of the Jersey Devils from Cherry Hill.
Wow.
So it's like minor leagues.
All right, so now you worked 6 years. Fast forward to the 74 season when you guys did something, Mr. Perrant, Conn Smythe, Stanley Cup.
Yes.
And you were there to call it in the rookie year. How'd the PA come about?
PA came about very, very strongly. I enjoyed it. I got that job down there. I did
No, how did it come about? Who left and how'd you slide in? Do you think it would last half a century?
Kevin Johnson left to go with the Blazers.
Okay.
Bernie knows those guys.
The Blazers.
And I wanted that job, and I auditioned and got the job. I mean, I already have done PAs in the press box, but I started doing that, and then, first game I did, I get hit with a bucket of pucks. Somebody threw them at Bob Kelly, and I was in the middle.
A bucket of pucks and warm-ups or something?
They kept them in a bucket with ice, and the guy lifted the bucket up and
Were you
threw
hurt?
it. No, not really. I've been hit by some pucks and sticks, but nothing serious.
You've been hit by pucks, Mr. Perrant, haven't you?
Look at Lou, how great he looks. Yeah.
How did it sound, Bernie? Goalies have to hate it. I mean, you have no choice, and it's going to happen to every goalie that ever lived. When somebody scores on you, and Lou, obviously for the home team, you punch it hard. For the road team, not so hard, but you got to say it. How hard is it to have to listen to the PA announcer saying goal scored by blah, 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 especially if it's a bad goal?
The one thing I could never understood, with Lou, which, by the way, Lou was the king of the kings, okay? But his voice, when they scored against me, I could detect some happiness in there.
Yet another goal against my buddy Bernie.
That was cool.
How do you do that, Lou? When you obviously you're going to punch it for Flyers. If somebody's particularly hot or particularly popular, the Pico power play. How do you? Because there's an art to what you do. You're not just reading copy. You're performing. You're punching. You're using your voice in many ways. How do you do that?
I just try and be professional, and I even like to give credit to the opposing team. I mean, I make sure that everybody knows I don't just do our guy, hey, and then their guy. I know. I try to, make it sort of understandable.
Fair, yeah.
Fair. And but the R's are much better, of course. And 3 stars when our goalie is a shutout, which is not much. Bernie had a few in his career.
You know how many shutouts you had, Bernie? I don't know how many.
Well, you have a calculator?
3 times 2, 6. Wow.
Yeah, 3 times 2.
Bernie had a bunch. He had an average for the year under 2 for the year. So
Yeah, but you need a good team to do this. Now, come on.
Well, you always say that. You say it's the teammates, but I'm not saying you're the end all, because Jesus told me when I got on there, he says, I have this guy from Canada. He may come in and play goal.
Bernie, it's a team sport, but if everybody on your team sucks, you're going to suck. You were a great goaltender. You obviously had great defensemen, great forwards. It's part of the reason why you're the Broad Street Bullies and won a Stanley Cup. So you're kind of humble about this. You were a hell of a part of that team. Big reason you're wearing these 2 rings that you wear all over the place.
Well, we had a great team, a great coach, and Fred Sherrill, and Keith Allen brought the right players in.
Got that right, yep.
And then not forget the beautiful crowd we had supporting us. And
17,077.
Started at 14,646, and third deck went on and went to 17,007, and then they found some more space in 17,077.
Yep.
It just when you look back, and my Lord, look, it's been 50 years, I think, right, since we won the Stanley Cup, something like
Amazing.
that. And I'm looking at my rings, every day, and I say, thank you, Lord. I was part of the team, a great team. Because,
your teammates say that
because
too,
you know
by the
what? You know what I share with people from those years when we won the Stanley Cup is, if you want to succeed in life, okay, forget about what you can produce. Make sure that you're involved with a good team.
Well, what if you're an individual? Serious question. Obviously, you're part of a team, even if you're in an individual sport with coaches and the like. But if you're a tennis player, golfer, is it different than if you're on the field, on the court, on the ice with different people on your team? Or is a team, and you just fit in however?
Well, I think part of the group is you only have one tennis player. But part of the group is the coaches.
Oh, yeah, trainers.
Trainers and the whole bit, that's part of your team.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Lou, you've been doing this a long time. We're going to get to many facets of it. We're going to talk about the Flyers tonight, many things. We love having you here. You've been through many, many coaches. Maybe you said you give the opponents credit. Maybe you punched one up too hard one night in their mind. Maybe not. Did a coach ever get upset with you, or what's the greatest reaction a coach ever had to you, good or bad? Flyers or opposing coach, and we were coming to say you should have done that.
Well, the biggest reaction was not from an NHL coach, but from a Division I coach. And in fact, it was Dave Haxtell, when he was coaching.
Wow. North Dakota.
Came in for the Frozen Four, and the NCAA gives you all the copy to read, and they're very strict.
And you have a stack of cards a mile high.
It's unbelievable. Anyway, I read the whole team, and we came across, and they had Notre Dame written in there, in the Notre Dame starting lineup, and I read Notre Dame, and I think it was North Dakota.
Yeah.
And all I know is I see them on the bench, and they're waving their arms, and next thing I know, there's a trainer in the whole North Dakota outfit banging on the glass right next to me. And they wouldn't let him in the box, but he was all pissed because, pardon my French, because...
Hey, that's not French.
Okay.
No, okay.
What is pissed in French?
Pisson.
Pisson. Okay.
Yeah.
I said, pisson.
Why do I doubt that?
Yeah, no, go away. But that was the only time, really. Most coaches I know. I've known them down through the years, and I have some favorites and some that aren't favorites, but, pretty much I was okay.
Paul, can I say something?
Yeah, well, that's what you're
I'm
here
listening to this man here. What a great voice. It was the same inside of the building, and you brought excitement within the crowd and the players.
Part of the show, absolutely.
Yeah,
That's
part of
kind
the show.
of you, Frenchie, to tell me that, and I appreciate it very much.
Have you ever been in a game? Obviously, you go to other games, other cities, other sports, whatever. And I'm sure you pay particular attention to the PA guy. Have you ever been just bored to tears and said, this guy is not adding, or woman, not adding anything to the show?
Well, what they try and do is add more than they need to. Hey, all this stuff, you know. Well, I don't quite do that, but a lot of the PAs have begun to do that. I mean, I know most of these guys, and, you know, through a page we have on Facebook that we use for pronunciations and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But some guy, I hear the games that are on the road, and some of them are pretty ridiculous, the calls.
Did you go over that before the game? Merrill Reese, obviously with football, is in the booth with Merrill for many years. He's done it for 47 years like you guys have forever. He goes over with a PA guy, with a PR guy from the other team, every name that may be hard to pronounce. You got obviously the French-Canadian, the European names. Do you go over it if there's a rookie, somebody that you may not know how to pronounce? Do you go over it with somebody before the game?
The day before, I go on the team's website and look at their roster. And then from there, I designate 3 or 4 people that I have to learn and make sure I know. And then I'll go on announcerhelp.com, who's that website.
Wow.
And we have every team is on there. Most of the guys have put their teams on, and you just punch it, and it tells you how to pronounce it. He pronounced it himself. So that works most of the time. Every once in a while, they bring somebody up, and I got to go see the PR man.
All right, before we take our first break, first game we do with Bernie, Parent or Parent?
Parent.
There we are.
Pardon. French, even more
God bless
French
you.
in it. Pardon.
Pardon.
Yeah, God bless you.
There we are. Folks, we're going to take a quick break. We have a great crowd here, a great place here, Chickies and Pete's in Bordentown. You're listening to On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross, live on WBCB 1490 and 107.3 FM, and seen live on YouTube at WBCB Sports. We're back with Bernie and Lou right after this. Stay with us.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's with a holiday reminder about the gift that always fits and always gets returned. Our Chickie and Pete's gift cards. Buy online and we'll ship them right to your home or office. Need them right now? Go to chickieandpete's.com and we'll send them right to your email. Or you can always come see us at all locations and pick up your gift cards. It's the gift that always fits, yet always gets returned. Chickie and Pete's gift cards. Happy holidays from Chickies and Pete's.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
Payroll Service Solutions was established in 2001 to cater to the payroll needs of small to medium-sized businesses. Payroll Service Solutions offers unparalleled customer service while they deliver a call or be put into a voicemail or go through a series of prompts to get to a person. All customer service representatives are extensively trained to handle all of your payroll needs, therefore saving you time. They value each and every one of their clients. No account is today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for a no obligation.
Bulls the same night or whatever.
Yeah.
And a 9-0 win.
There's some strange situations sometimes because there are sports writers involved in picking those.
And
You ever do stars? You ever do stars?
never did stars. No.
Oh, man. We got to
Nope.
get you on there.
Love to.
The pressure.
Love to do stars. I'd love to find the Independence Blue Cross Fearless Player of the Week. They're always good, and this week it's Owen Tippett, who had 2 goals and 4 assists this week, including a 4-point game versus Columbus, starting to pop out of his shell. Remember to choose Independence Blue Cross today and begin to live fearless. The Independence Blue Cross Fearless Flyer of the Week with Lou Nolan and Bernie Parent. Bernie, who's the best player you ever played against? I want to see if you and Lou agree on this one. Obviously, you have Gretzky, Lemieux, Howe, Hull, and many others. Best player you ever played against and the best player you ever saw.
I'm going to share a little story. And the name is Bobby Hull. Okay? Bobby Hull, my first game against Chicago, I played for the Bruins, right? I was only 20 years old.
The Bruins? You mean
The
Bruins?
Bruins.
The Bruins. There we are.
Hey, and then he came across the blue line. He looked at me, right? He's about 40 feet from me. Big smile on his face, big body, you know how he was. He could shoot the puck.
No, wait, he's actually smiling as he's skating down.
Oh, yeah. He shooting the puck at
No
115 miles an hour, right? And then he winds up, and I glove here.
You want to
and I
hit the
said-
face.
And I
He has a story. We've heard this one before, but as long as you.
Nikita. Okay. I took my stick, broke his leg, and that was the end of it. Yep.
Broken leg, huh?
Yep.
Good.
How about that?
Served him right.
Sure.
You're you're not on the ice anymore. You used to be on the ice.
Yep.
And you have contact with the refs, obviously replay, more with the video thing. Tell everybody through the years how your role has evolved, how often you talk to the refs, when, who has to alert you to what, as to things the crowd needs to know during the game.
Well, back when I worked in the box, I worked with that glass at first. And, I mean, the referees were like what we are here, right across from one another. And the ref will give me the goal, and then I would call upstairs and get the assist, and then I'd make the call to the crowd. And on penalties, it was a lot easier because you didn't have to say ref Mike and all this. Some guys talking gibberish, some guys don't.
Yeah.
You know? And we have to guess sometimes. In fact, we occasionally miss a penalty where I am now at the top of 112 simply because if it's the end of the period and the refs go over and they're talking, nobody makes any announcement. You have to rely on the ref to make the announcement now. And I don't know. It's just the NFL has it right. It must be in their contract that they have to do that because they just do it very deliberately what they announce. Our guys, it's like, okay, 24, 2 minutes holding. You know, sometimes you can't get it.
Yep.
And we're disappointed in that because we'd like to do a good job.
But, you know what? Here's an idea. Why don't we have the referees to talk to you in French?
Yeah. Oh,
that'd
be great.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah.
How many languages you talk about French, Bernie? You on the ice, you have to know. You have to be able to communicate. Matvei Michkov can't right now. He's just learning English. There's no way around that. But you got people from different nationalities, different cultures. Was there ever a guy you couldn't communicate with? And Lou, was there ever a guy in whatever position that you had trouble with? Bernie,
well, the only guy I couldn't communicate with was somebody I owed money to.
From one of those charter flight poker games?
Got that one right.
There we are.
What were you saying? Yeah, I don't understand. Yeah.
Say that again? Yeah. Well, I've never had any real challenges to communicate with anybody but referees. The French guys spoke English to me when they asked me things because captains often ask me for assists from players.
There's no Russian referees.
Check on this guy, check on that guy.
Yep.
No, there was a Russian linesman, but that Paul Stewart, when he was over in Russia, cultivated this young guy, and he's merged in now fine. But it seemed to be fine. I have no problem at all, other than communicating with the people in English.
Flyers go on this long road trip, 12 days, 5 games, in hotels, obviously, eating with a team. A lot of people say road trips aren't fun. A lot of people say road trips are fun because that's when the team gets bonding, especially a young team like this, building, gets a chance to spend some time together. How important is a road trip like this, and how do you erase the bad stuff while inhaling the good stuff?
Well, it's very, very important because I always believe in life. You win. Doesn't matter what you're doing in life. You win as a team. Okay, it's not individual. You may score a goal as an individual, but you win as a team.
Right.
You know, so when we went on the road for 14, 15 days or whatever, we made sure we had dinners together. We had a couple of drinks together. I was, I haven't drank in 50 years now, but I was drinking at the time and socialize, among the players.
But
like we're doing right now.
Let me ask you a serious question. It sounds like a joke. I don't drink. I'm sure there's been players that didn't drink, and after you stop drinking alcohol, you don't have to drink alcohol to be with your teammates on the road, do you?
No. But at the time, it was the thing to do,
Sure.
And with the boys, you didn't have to drink the whole bottle, But
they say in French, let's have a few beer.
A few beers, yeah.
Hey, drop the S.
But the good thing we had behind the screen here, the whole thing we had, we were teammates. We were a team.
Yeah.
And that's why we won so many games. It wasn't one guy shining one night or whatever, which we had, but it was mostly the whole team shining.
Yeah.
Did you ever find out the way the bonding on the road trips helped you out when you got back? Because when you're at home, you got families, you got kids, you got the honey-do list.
It's going every way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I think that it's changed. Just as the game has changed, So is a socialization between the players. And when they're on the road, as much as the guys are enjoying the social aspect of it, I think there are a lot of guys here that just see it a little different now.
Yeah.
Married guys love it because they can sleep if they have kids. Young guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, players don't go out now like they used to. I would think not. I don't know that for sure, but I know in the past, guys went out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know yourself, some guys could go out and come right in and play a game. Some guys went out and played out lousy next day.
Yeah, but you do this as a team, and then you come out and you slow down on the ice. You know what? Then that's when you get together and say, hey, what's going on here? So you want to have fun with the team, but you have to also to perform.
All right, you also have to be careful. Did Wayne I'm not going to accuse anybody of anything, but I might. Did Wayne Stevenson or Bobby Taylor ever try to slip something in your drink so that you'd be knocked out and they could play the next night?
Yeah, they tried, and I played better.
Did you? You ever go on a road trip, Lou? I mean, in 50 years, did they had fathers, mothers?
I've been on a few trips down through the years, yeah.
Long
Not
ones?
lately. A couple days here and there. I mean, when the roof blew off, I was on that trip up through New York and Toronto and Quebec City and all that. It was at least a week, I think it was. You remember that when the roof blew off?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, one thing I like about Lou, he's walking around this, but he won't hurt anybody with their comments. Yeah.
No, did you like the road? Did you enjoy it? You bonded yourself with players, broadcasters?
I never did it for 80 games, 82 games. So, I mean, it was nice. It was fun to travel with the team because I like the guys. But back in those days, we were almost the same age as Bernie and I are now. Okay? But we were 22, 23 years old. It was
different. I can't
different.
see either one of you guys at 22. I can't see myself at 22.
We were once 22.
Yeah, we were.
21.
And then we became 42 real fast.
Yeah.
62. Fill in the sentence for me, Lou. My favorite Flyer coach ever as a human being was or is?
Keith Allen.
Because
he was an honest guy and he approached everything the right way. I just liked him a lot. And he became a great general manager.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure.
And Mr. Snyder, obviously not a coach, but
put those pieces together for those teams that won.
What did Ed Snyder do for you and for the city and for the hockey team? Somebody said, talk about Ed Snyder for a minute, which I'm going to. What was the best thing about Ed Snyder?
Well,
his birthday's coming up January 9th.
He brought hockey to Philly. He recognized an opportunity, a business opportunity, brought hockey to Philly. Without him, I wouldn't be here. We wouldn't be here.
I wouldn't be here either.
So here we are, and he was great there. And always a good owner. And he always said, call me Ed. Well, I called him Ed. A lot of the players wouldn't call him Ed. They called him Mr. Snyder.
Even Bobby Clark.
Yeah, Bob
What'd you call
did.
him, Bernie?
Johnny. He loved this. No, but you know what? What you're saying, Lou, it's so important. This guy, I don't know, a lot of people probably don't know about this. When he had the opportunity to buy the team, National Hockey League, in Philly, he didn't have the money to do it, and he brought in 4 people to put some money in.
Supplement, yeah, sure.
And he told them that after so many years or whatever, they would have their money back in some, for the investment. And that's what he did. So think about this. Here's a guy who didn't have the money at the beginning to make it happen, and look what he did.
And building our current building.
Yeah, sure.
Take a few more bucks now than it did then, huh?
Not a single dollar from anywhere outside of Ed built that building. I mean, now, the guys want to give us 33% from the state and 33% from the city, and I'll throw 33% in.
And 20% from Paul.
Yes.
Sure.
How do you feel? I mean, Flyers had this building. They just redid it. Great building. Just redid the whole thing. Sixers probably moving out in a few years. How convenient, Bernie, was it to have, obviously you only play in one sport, but Philly's the only city on the planet Earth that has every stadium in the same place. How convenient was that? How fun was that? And how fun do you think it is for the fans?
Well, we could talk about the building, which we are, but for me, in addition to this, I'm so grateful that we played in front of people in Philadelphia. Yep. The fans that we had, as a player on the ice, it was just incredible. And you know what? As a player, you felt like, I think it was 17,007. I think
It was one of the dates.
Yeah,
one of the numbers. Yeah.
And you know what? And to have those people behind you, and with the team
And encouraging you too,
Oh,
because
it's
when you didn't play
incredible.
well, you knew.
Oh, yeah.
You knew.
I'll
Oh,
let
yeah.
you know.
Yep.
Yep. All right, guys, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, we're going to lament the passing of a Philadelphia sports legend that Mr. Nolan and Mr. Prant both knew. World Juniors have started. Flyers team, we'll talk about that much more with Lou Nolan. Bernie Prant, who's going to Florida for a couple months, lucky sucker, with his wife, Jeannie, Fort Lauderdale, huh?
I promise I'll send you pictures.
Jeannie.
So.
You will.
Yeah.
Sunbathing on the beach while
Sure.
we're freezing. This is the Independence
Nude
Blue Cross
beach.
on the ice from Chickies and Pete's in Bordentown, New Jersey. We are back right after this. Stay with us.
Hi, it's Pete from Chickie and Pete's. Join us for a casual, stress-free New Year's Eve. Early or late, you decide. Celebrate with football, food, and fun. Enjoy buy one, get one mouth-watering snow crabs from open to close. Happy hour starts at 4 with $3 domestics, $5 Tito's, $6 seltzers, plus half-price wings, pizza, and shrimp. Then late-night happy hour with $5 champagne toasts. Casual, stress-free, and easy. Chickies and Pete's for New Year's Eve.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
Payroll Service Solutions was established in 2001 to cater to the payroll needs of small to medium-sized businesses. Payroll Service Solutions offers unparalleled customer service while they deliver a complete and accurate payroll. When calling Payroll Service Solutions, you will never be put into a voicemail or go through a series of prompts to get to a person. All customer service representatives are extensively trained to handle all of your payroll needs, therefore saving you time. They value each and every one of their clients. No account is too small. Call Payroll Service Solutions today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for a no-obligation review of your payroll needs. That number again is 1-866-PAYEASY. Payroll Service Solutions.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Once again, here are your hosts, Paul Jolovitz and former Flyer goaltending great Bernie Prant.
All righty, back at Chickies in Bordentown, New Jersey. It's time now for the Smart Stat of the Week, brought to you by Payroll Service Solutions. Call them today at 1-866-PAY-EASY. That's 1-866-PAY-EASY. Flyers head on a 5-game Western swing, very pivotal to their season. The Orange and Black will not return home till Tuesday, January 7th versus Toronto, and Craig Berube coaching that team, the Disney on Ice down at the Wells Fargo Center. That was your Flyers Smart Stat of the Week, presented by Payroll Service Solutions. Call them today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for the smart choice in payroll services. Payroll Service Solutions, catering to the smart and medium-sized, to small and medium-sized business to handle all of your payroll needs. Call them once again at 1-866-PAY-EASY. And they
Good company. Good
company.
Good company.
Paul, I wish you would do
it.
this in French one time.
I actually took French in college. I can speak passable French.
Yeah.
Don't think I could. If you wrote it in French, I could pronounce it, but I wouldn't know what I was saying. Before we get to Mr. Berge, may he rest in peace, I read that they're playing the Maple Leafs on January 7th. Maple Leafs have a guy that was drafted by the Flyers. He's been on this show. Chris Hermer's done shows with him there. A kid from New Jersey named Anthony Stolarz, who did something pretty nice. I'm sure you have opposing players and you get to know people over the years. You told me this story. I'd love you to tell everybody listening out there. We appreciate you listening and watching. Tell everybody what Anthony Stolarz did.
When I was honored for 50 years announcing, I did the game from the box. That is after the NHL had chased all the announcers upstairs because of COVID, they said. And we never returned because they say there's too much equipment, but there is no equipment. Yeah, sure. Anyway, I went over there, and Stoley, who I know pretty well, and we did a few appearances together, he skated over to me and looked into the box. They opened the door, and he said, "Lou, I just want to congratulate you for, your milestone." And I mean, I just thought that's so really, really great thing for the opposing player and somebody that to come in and do that kind of thing. I would expect that Bernie might do that if I gave him $100.
You ever do that with an opposing PA guy, Bernie?
Hey, maybe 200.
200?
Not $100, yeah.
All right, now we got to get serious, unfortunately, for a second. The Philadelphia sports scene lost a wonderful human being, Bill Bubba Berge, former middle linebacker, multiple Pro Bowler, All-Pro, great player for the Eagles, Super Bowl 15. Lost his life yesterday, Christmas morning. He made it to Christmas. Said he's going to make it to Christmas. Damn it, Bill. You made it. You won that fight. But unfortunately, we lost him yesterday. I know both of you guys have met Bill several times. And Bernie, you guys are 2 months apart. A great player. Same thing I say about you. A great player, a better person. I did the post game with him for many years. Any recollections you have of Mr. Berge?
Well, first off, I'd just like to say that on behalf of all of us at the Flyers, Bernie and certainly Paul, we'd like to give our best wishes to Bill's family, to Jake, who we met several times when did some lacrosse, and the rest of the Berge family. You lost a great man there, and we'll always remember him.
Yep.
Boy, could he hit?
Oh, yeah.
And play. He
On
could
the
play
field,
the position.
Well, Bernie, it's interesting because, first of all, why don't you say whatever you want to say about Berge. Bill Berge, may rest in peace. When I do games, I've covered teams for many, many years. There are some guys that you can say, I understand how on the ice you're a maniac because you're a maniac now. There are other people that are like the most calm and passive guys, nicest people in the world. I'm thinking, how do you turn it on when you hit the ice, when you hit the field? So first, say whatever you want about Bill, and second, name some of those guys that were nice guys off the ice and maniacs on the ice.
Well, you know what, with Bill, you know what, it was a pleasure to see him perform. It was a first-class individual, and he was a winner, he was and he was blessed with a great talent, which was awesome. It was a pleasure to watch him perform.
Boy, you can say that again.
Really, how many times I watch a game and watch him. I couldn't wait to watch him perform.
Yeah, you could just focus on him for the play.
Yeah.
And he would always be where the ball was.
He was.
He smelled the ball.
He was a great player, but he, off the ice, off the field, he would always ask me, I remember this till my dying days, do you still like Amy? Or does Amy still like you, my wife? Just the nicest guy in the world. You play with the Broad Street Bullies, who on the ice had a little bit of an edge. Who was the guy that was crazy on the ice that if you met him off the ice, you'd say, you can't be you, you're too nice?
Well, a name comes to me is Ben Wilson.
Oh, boy.
Ben Wilson, we see him in Florida when we get down there. A great individual. He was a tough player, but a great human being.
To me, he's the best fighter the Flyers ever had, number one.
If
every Flyer was involved in an on-ice hockey fight tournament, Ben's the best I ever saw.
Ben could really fight when he was.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And you know what? The other tough guy too was Lindros.
Oh,
Yeah. Great individual, and just to mention a few, I could go on for the next half hour and mention names.
Hextall.
Hextall was. You know what? I watched him play, and I said, my God! I said, then in my mind I watched myself play, and I said, oh. God, you know what? He could shoot. He scored a goal.
Yeah, sure.
Two.
Yeah, a couple of them, yeah.
Best fighter you ever saw, Lou. You announced many penalties, many crazy situations, riled the fans up. Greatest Philadelphia fighter. Obviously, Bernie played with Schultze and Ben Wilson and Dave Brown and on and on and on. Give me one.
Well, Dave Semenko, who looked out after Wayne Gretzky, was a good one. And
No, Flyer fighter.
Oh,
Schmeichel was Gretzky's bodyguard with the Oilers.
you mean another Flyer fighter?
Yeah, Flyers.
Oh, okay. I like Berube.
Won't you mention my name?
No,
Red Berube?
not you. Not you. Berube.
Yeah.
I like Berube.
Yep.
He was always good at it.
Right.
When Jody Shelley played here for a little
Yep.
while, Jody could throw him, and a wonderful guy.
He's one of those guys, broadcasting with Columbus.
Yeah.
Like, you were a goon in the NHL. You're learned. You're smart. Stu Grimson, another guy.
Yeah.
Just somebody you can't believe goes on the ice and changes like a
Delightful
Marvel
guy.
hero. Yeah.
Delightful guy, Stu. Yeah.
Well, you know why they fought? You know, most of those guys,
job.
if you understand, they fought because they were part of the team. They wanted the team to win.
That's
That
right.
was very, very important.
But I found that in my life, covering these guys, that most of them, not all, there's not everybody doesn't exist in this world because everybody's different. But most fighters in the NHL do this for a living. It's their job. Nobody wants to be angry all the time. They tend to be nicer guys off the ice than maybe the right wing who doesn't fight a lot. Not that any aspersion upon right wings. Would you find that to be true, guys?
Well, you know, the one guy I remember was a good fighter. And where he came from, I have no clue. But the guy looked just like you, Paul.
Did he?
You know? Yeah.
Probably had to fight for these looks. I mean, probably got these looks by fighting, taking a few in the head. There we go.
How about Homer? Homer didn't
Yeah.
quite have the balance on his skates. Mm-hmm. But, geez, boy, he could certainly throw him there.
Well, you know what? That's
Some of his
where
fights with Willie Plett.
you're talking.
lot of 'em.
You're talking about those players,
Robert.
and you're talking about the team. This is the team always has this good combination of speed, talented players, and tough players, and that's what you need as a team. You know, to work together. you know.
Well, I'll tell you what they also need, guys, and Lou was a part of this last Saturday night. Obviously, a terrible tragedy. He's been celebrated in Columbus, in Calgary, where he played. Came up in South Jersey. Johnny and Matt Gaudreau obviously lost their lives in August with a drunk driver in New Jersey. And the Flyers, when Columbus came in, had a ceremony for them. Lou, you were a big part of that ceremony. Tell us about your role in it and how nice it was to see that this tough hockey town reacted. Johnny Gaudreau never played one game with the Flyers, but I thought it was a hell of a night.
Well, yeah. I met his dad in the hallway before the game and spoke with him briefly there. He said, "I sat behind you lots of games, Lou. I know who you are."
Gee.
You know, yeah. And when the time came and he read the copy, I mean, there are times when it's difficult to get through things. And I had it. It didn't seem it, but when I got through it all, I took the breath for a couple of minutes and just had to get back into trying to just be a good pro. But it really affected me to see his family out there and to see Johnny and Maddie's ladies and carrying a baby and all these things. You know, a senseless thing, a stupid, senseless thing takes two young men out there that are wonderful people.
Yeah.
And boom, it's terrible.
Did you
Just
ever have a
terrible.
teammate pass away, Bernie? A teammate or somebody on another team while you were playing?
Oh, of course.
Who?
But you're talking about those two kids now.
Yeah.
We're just talking about.
Yeah.
You know, I read my books every morning, and I have behind the book as I'm reading, I have the picture of the two boys.
Really?
You know,
Johnny and Matt?
And you know what? It's something. So I'm sorry. I had shared this with you. You were saying.
Who do you remember that passed away? Either an opponent that you might have been friends with, or a teammate? I mean, Barry Ashby comes to mind right away. What was it like when Barry Ashby passed away? How did it affect the team? And obviously, it wasn't the same as this, but cancer. I mean, death is death.
It was terrible. You know, one of the best defensemen ever played for the Flyers.
Yep.
You know, and I remember the whole team. We went to Toronto for his funeral, and you know, and then when we shared this, we also have to remind people that don't wait and wait and wait to make things happen that you feel like you want to do in life.
Great point.
Because life is short, you know. Even if you live, look, you and I will be 80 pretty soon, you know. And that you're talking about 80 years, that's a lot of years. It's not. when you look back, you know what? It goes so fast. You know, and I share this with people. You have something in mind and you want to enjoy life and you're undecided, just make a decision and do it. Enjoy yourself because life is short, man. Yeah.
Well, hey, look, an example is somebody that was close to you is Pelly Lindbergh.
Yep.
That was, I mean, I was right in the middle of that one and the service and all, and it was just horrible. It was just a horrible time.
You know, I'll never forget when I received a phone call at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I went to the hospital, you know, and because I worked with him.
You worked together,
for a few years, and we were good friends too. And it was a heck of a goalie, and you know, I was sitting next to his bed, holding his hands. You know, I'll never forget this my whole life. And then he passed away at that time.
Not fun, right?
It was a sad time, but
when life intervenes, right?
Yeah.
Dimitri Turtisny also.
Yeah, Dimitri, sure.
Yeah, not a star, but lost his life in a boating accident.
He was destined to be a star. He was a good young player.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Real life intervenes. That's the point we're making. Obviously, we wish the Gaudreau family all the best, and what can you do? Life goes on. We're going to be back. Life goes on. The show goes on. Final segment of this Christmas After Day special from the Chickies and Pete's in Bordentown.
Boxing Day.
Boxing Day in England with Lou Nolan and Bernie Promise about sending boxes back, not the sport of boxing. Anyway, we'll be back right here at Chickies and Pete's right after this. Stay with us.
The last thing I remember, I was outside Chickie and Pete's.
Of course, George. Chickie and Pete's is Philadelphia's most decorated and award-winning restaurant.
I give each of the kids a Chickie and Pete's gift card. It's the gift that always fits.
It's almost as good as getting your wing.
Yeah, that's right, Clarence. You can get your wings at Chickie's, and crab fries and lobster pizza and a hot beef sandwich.
You see, George, it really is a wonderful place, this Chickie and Pete's.
At Independence Blue Cross, we take care of the people who take care of you. Everyday heroes like firefighters, police officers, teachers, farmers, and healthcare workers. Doctors and hospitals across the region have IBX, and they know what it means to have reliable access to care. So whether you're saving lives or just trying to live a healthier life, count on IBX, the region's #1 health insurer for 85 years. Learn more at IBX.com.
Payroll Service Solutions was established in 2001 to cater to the payroll needs of small to medium-sized businesses. Payroll Service Solutions offers unparalleled customer service while they deliver a complete and accurate payroll. When calling Payroll Service Solutions, you will never be put into a voicemail or go through a series of prompts to get to a person. All customer service representatives are extensively trained to handle all of your payroll needs, therefore saving you time. They value each and every one of their clients. No account is too small. Call Payroll Service Solutions today at 1-866-PAY-EASY for a no-obligation review of your payroll needs. That number again is 1-866-PAYEASY. Payroll Service Solutions.
We now return to Chickies and Pete's for On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross. Once again, here are your hosts, Paul Jolovitz and former Flyer goaltending great Bernie Perrant.
All righty, final segment of this year, 2024. I want to wish everybody a happy, healthy, and safe New Year. Lou Nolan's here, and Bernie Perrant, many, many more on top of that. Matvei Michkov, young with the Flyers, a building team. Deal time. Trading deadline, couple months. Flyers hovering around 500, some good, some bad. Torch juggling lines. Owen Tippett coming on. TK having a great year. The Four Nations tournament, the World Juniors. Jet Lutsenko coming up, Lou. Buy or sell. We know they need a center for Michkov. How did Danny and Keith handle this as to whether to buy or sell? Not mortgage in the future, but helping the team. It's a big blender stuff. Throw it in the blender. What do you get?
Well, he'll earn his money. Danny will earn his money this trade deadline. And I think he has a plan, although he hasn't told me about it. And I think it has to include a finisher. Finisher from the standpoint of being able to score goals on assists that come from the wingers, which should include Michkov. Nice young guy, learning the language a little bit at a time. Probably had a tough time communicating at first on the ice, and is getting better at it now because the guys have been teaching him things.
But the Flyers have a weakness at center. Let's not pretend. I mean, playmaking centers, they got some great players, some great wings, some wonderful defensive centers like Scotty Lawton, who scored the goal the other day. Great third-line center, fourth-line center. They need a
4 goals.
4 goals in one game. First since Sinclair.
Yeah.
But they need a first-line center. But they're expensive. Who do you give up? There's Farabee. There's Morgan Frost, somebody who may not fit into Tort's system. What do you think, Bernie?
Well, why don't you ask Lou? Lou has the answers.
All right.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to commit on that one.
Yeah.
I think that both those guys that you mentioned are coveted by other teams. They're talented people.
Got to be somebody covered by other teams.
They're talented people, and it's just like Forster, is another guy that's
not trading
coming
him.
on. But right,
You can
exactly.
trade anybody if the price is right, obviously.
Yeah, but and I think that as I mentioned when we were off the air, they're carrying a couple too many players. So the fact that they'll be able to exchange a couple of those guys for somebody that can add to the team.
But you want to buy. In other words,
it.
you don't just want to sell from a team because the playoffs are important to make this year.
gotta
Didn't make
buy.
them last year. Yeah, you got to buy. Bernie, you got to buy on this team. Got to make the fans happy. They want to see Stanley Cup hockey, don't they?
Of course. And this is what the organization. And you have Briere and Jones. They're good hockey people. They know the game. Sharp guys, and they know who to look for and what they need in the whole bit. And I have confidence in those guys that they who they bring. They may take a little bit of a time to perform, but they bring the right people in. It really makes a big difference.
Well, I never watched the draft, but I did watch this year because I was curious where Michkov was going to be.
That was last year.
Yeah. And bingo, next thing you know, it goes down and down and down and down, and we have a chance to draft him. And, boy, he drafted him just like that.
Is he better than Bedard? Would you take him or Bedard right now? Because most people think if Michkov was from Chicago instead of Russia, he would have gone second to Bedard, maybe first. They're both having good years. Michkov probably going to be the rookie of the year, hopefully. Where do you see that going?
I think Michkov will be more durable than Bedard, only because Bedard's a little more frail, perhaps, because of his physique. Mm-hmm. But they're going after Michkov now. If you see it, if you watch games, I mean, this guy's going after him. And then once in a while he loses his patience and gets 2 minutes in the box. But I don't know what's going on with Bedard. I don't see him that much. Saw him the one time he was here. Oh, yeah, sure he is. I've seen him when he was a junior. And he can control the game. But, again, it goes back to the same thing. It's team concept. So you need more than that. And with Michkov, I think that he has a bright future here.
Bernie, in your day, the trade deadline wasn't as important. Obviously, the Rangers have already made trades, traded their captain. Teams start slow. Moves are made. You were on some great teams and didn't need a whole lot. You had a whole lot. But do you ever remember playing and thinking, we're one defenseman short, we're a wing, we're a tough guy, whatever it is? Do you remember thinking, my team's a little short, I hope my GM goes out and gets it?
Yeah.
And did you ever put your opinion in and tell them, here's what we need?
Yeah. When I had a Bad game, I felt that way. Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah.
No, but they, you know what? I mean, like we said earlier, it's all you could have. I remember the team we had when you had Larky, Barber, and all those guys. Great leaders, great hockey players, and at the same time, you couldn't win with one individual. You had to win as a team.
Yep.
Correct.
And that was to me. We don't mention Clarkey enough because he was the leader of the team, and he brought the players together all the time, and it was just incredible how we played.
Lou, how much of the game do you watch as a fan? Obviously the PA guy, but you're also a fan. You love this team. You watch when you're not talking and say, as you just said, they need a center. Flyers have won a Stanley Cup in 50 years. A lot of it's because of the goaltender situation. Did you ever find a time where you said, I want to go to the GM, maybe lend my 2 cents. We need this guy or this type of guy. Do you ever do that? You've been there a while. I think you have some cachet.
I don't know enough. I never played at that level where Bernie did, and I would never suggest to a GM that he should do one thing or another.
Okay.
If I was talking to him and it was mentioned to me, what do you think about this or that? I would venture an opinion. But I watch games when Flyers are on the road. In home, there's just too much going on. You know, they get the board going, and the production is too much. They're, trying to find what I have to say next. And then next thing you know, a goal happens, and then maybe another goal before you announce the other one, like the other night. So it backs up.
Yeah, 2 goals in a few seconds. It's got to back it up for you, yep.
Very much so. But we sorted it out. So.
All right, December 20.
But can I say just one thing is with the game, the one thing I don't agree with, and the one thing I have to say is the league is full of great hockey players. There's no question about it. But the rules have changed. The goalies can barely move because the pads are so stiff. The equipment is so stiff that they have to drop to their knees. They can't move their feet.
Why is it that way? Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know. I don't know. But then the defense in front of the goalie. In the old days, you used to move players to give you a better look at the shot.
Yep.
Now you can't touch anybody.
Nope.
Chris Pronger.
Yep. You can't touch, and it's becoming very, very, very difficult to perform now.
All right, we're going to perform for a second here. Not in the normal way we do with hockey. We love this show. We love you watching and listening. We'll continue it next year and hopefully many more. 2025, guys, around the corner. We all have New Year's resolutions, usually which we break by the end of January. I'm going to lose a little weight this year, I promise. Anything special? You're going to Florida for 2025, Bernie?
Any reason? I got to a point where
you're going to be 80 next year.
80 next year, and I don't deal with the cold weather like I used to. I love the warm weather.
You're from French Canada. We're going to be here, and you're flying south.
Look, I like to get on here. I like to get on the deck of the place where we sit. We're looking at the ocean, looking at the marina with multi-million-dollar boats, and then the inland waterways. And I sit there with shorts on, short sleeves, smoking a cigar, and think about poor Paul back in Philly when the weather's cold. Yeah,
I'm sure you do. Yeah. All right, Lou. Any resolutions? Anything? Obviously, you want a Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
It's been a long time, but
I just want to make the playoffs. I want to do a few playoff games this year. I'd like to do that, and I guess it'd be great to make a second round. But I'll stick with make the playoffs and solve the goalie problem to where we got a number one, a true number one.
So we've been a long time since Mr. Ron Hextall got rid of a couple other guys, Bobrovsky. Hopefully Sam Ersson can step up and some young kids coming in. Hopefully the number one goalie can come and lead this team to the cup.
And Pelle Lindbergh.
Pelle Lindbergh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Terrible thing that happened to Pelle, obviously. All right, that'll do it for this edition of On the Ice. We thank, again, the fans. We thank everybody for listening and watching and coming to our shows next Thursday. January 2nd at Malvern, we'll have ex-goaltender Neil Little, another goalie. Brad Marshall, my co-host. Chris Ermer, Happy New Year, buddy. Produce this fine program. Happy New Year to Stephen Lawler back at the station. May everybody have a happy, healthy, and safe New Year and many, many more. For Bernie Perrant and Lou Nolan, yes, sir.
Well, why don't we give Paul a big hand then?
Nice going,
great show, buddy.
Yeah. Another $1 million. But thank you so much. This has been On the Ice, presented by Independence Blue Cross from Chickies and Pete's in Bordentown. Happy New Year, everybody, and go Flyers.
Then go.
You got it.
You're listening to 1490 WBCB and on your FM dial at 107.